What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Salute to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Jeannie Mai again. I know you're going to say, well, Jay, what is it this time? Well, she's made some new comments, and there's something missing from these comments. There's something missing from it. She has refused to apologize for her lies. Now, I'm going to get into this TMZ article, and the funniest thing about this title is that it says, Jeannie Mai, I won't lie, divorcing Jeezy really sucked. Well, what about you saying that he was abusive? What about you saying that you felt threatened by him? It's not adding up. Let's get into it, because we're going to get into it more, because somebody put up a really good tweet or X post. They said, responding to the TMZ article, it says, right, that's about her saying that divorce felt like experiencing death alive. That's what Jeannie Mai said, once again playing the victim. And someone said, right, that's why you accused him of abuse, falsely claimed that he had weapons around your daughter, alleged she was selling drugs, and then attempted to file for full custody. Yes, she did those things because she's not she's the victim here. She clearly had issues if Jeezy was the one who was divorcing her after less than 2 years. It's clear that there's issues there, and she's refusing to address those. She was the problem. And instead of her being honest and saying she was the problem, it is about blaming others. That's what we do nowadays. A lot of Western women do this, where they will talk about these things, but they always allude to the breakup or the separation, divorce, whatever you want to call it, always being the fault of the man. And women accept that. They support that. They know it's not true because she's been divorced before. And it was a bad divorce from her first husband. There were red flags there. Don't let me get to her fetishizing black men, right? Even though I don't think she had really dated one up until before Jeezy. She was married to a Caucasian man before. This was a woman who is a little bit older, and she's a liberal woman. She's a liberal Western woman, and she doesn't know what she wants. She got the family that she wanted, and I think she sabotaged it. It's clear that Jeezy had issues with her. The fact that, I guess the mother's constantly around, because her and her mother are like besties, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're married to someone, this is a new marriage, he's going to want privacy in the home. He's going to want to just deal with you. But I also think that Jeannie Mai, just from everything I've read up on her and know, she clearly has psychological issues. There are things that are going on with her that she will not say, this is what's going on, I am the problem. It's hard for women to say that they are the problem because they are the victim. And the reason why I will say she is the problem, because she accused him of things that he didn't do. You know how I know he didn't do it? Because nothing came of it. She made all these accusations and nothing came of it. She was just upset he filed for divorce and people were siding with him, which is an absolute no-no. You see, when a man breaks up with a woman, women expect to get all the sympathy. And when they don't get the sympathy, they get the lying, making up things. You see this I've seen this in so many of these celebrity divorces. I have seen so many of these women lie after divorce because people are roasting them. People are saying you're the reason for the divorce. You know what these heifers go and do? They lie. They go and they lie because they don't control the narrative. They always claim an abuse. I said in one of my recent videos, I'm having domestic violence fatigue because so many of these women, after a breakup, just so they can get child support, just so they can get more alimony, will claim that they were abused. This is how you know these heifers are mentally ill. And then they have no evidence of the abuse. It's different if that man was whooping up on her and he had a history of whooping on chicks. Then it's easier to believe that. But when you're saying this about somebody that has no history of whooping women to this day, especially a guy like Jeezy, who's been in the industry well over 20 years, not one domestic violence accusation towards him, then yes, this heifer's lying. She's lying. He has weapons around a newborn? That doesn't sound right. Why are you making these things up? See, when Western women lose control of the narrative, they get to lying because they have no other weapon. It's their word against that man. And she's already bitter towards how the marriage fell apart. And they get to lying. Domestic violence fatigue. Maybe that's going to have to be another Patreon video because I can't put that type of video on YouTube. Y'all already know this. Let's get into this. This heifer is sick. Look at this title. Jeannie Mai really went through the ringer during her divorce from Jeezy, and the whole thing was apparently like experiencing death alive. Jeannie spoke about the end of her marriage with Jeezy during Thursday's episode of iHeartRadio's Question Everything podcast and described the process of divorcing the rapper as the worst. I mean, it's not like you haven't, you've been divorced before. FYI, Jeannie and Jeezy tied the knot back in 2021 and they welcomed daughter Monaco Mai the following year, although they ended up separating in 2023 and they finalized their divorce in June of 2024. Jeannie said divorce was a process that forced you to then protect yourself to get what you need and admitted the whole thing was the worst. Yeah, because you were making up things. You were saying things that weren't true. You were making accusations against this man because you were mad. Jeannie added, so lucky that Monaco was only one when this happened. She's not gonna remember what the turmoil is like. This is not something I want her to ever have to think about. My job is to define peace for her. The thing is, Jeannie didn't have any regrets about tying the knot with Jeezy and said that she was so thankful to have experienced love in so many different ways. We should note that she didn't close the door on the idea of a second marriage because she really enjoyed what the feeling of love brought into her life. No word on if she's found any new suitors. And by the way, this is her second marriage, so if she got married again, it'll be a third marriage. Suitors, she needs to stay single. She should not, under no circumstances, be looking to get married again. It's gonna fail. We already know this. She has issues. Maybe it's intimacy issues. Maybe, once she gets married, her inner feminist comes out. And I think that really scared Jeezy off. To really see her in a different light, I think made him reevaluate that whole marriage. And the thing is, even though he divorced, a year and a half after they married, he probably wanted to leave sooner, but he didn't. And that's what happens when you're with a woman you think you can save. You see, Jeezy thought he could save her. Jeezy thought that he could truly help heal whatever her issues was. Because when you get into a relationship with a woman, she tells you about all the bad experiences she had before you, you say to yourself, well, this will be different because I'm here, right? I can give you the things that your ex couldn't give you. I can be that comfort. I can be that protector. I can be that provider. But what happens when that woman's a self-sabotager? She gets the things that she claims she wants and she's still unhappy, deeply unhappy. What do you do then? Do you stay or do you leave? I think Jeezy decided to stay. And I'm telling you, it's very difficult for men to file for divorce. It's very difficult for men to take the route of leaving a marriage. When men get married, for the most part, we stay in it. It's the women who file for divorce. It's the women who are ready to leave before men are. Because once you go through the courting, then the engagement, then the marriage, you want to settle into that life. But what happens when you're with somebody who's been divorced before? Somebody who clearly is unhealed, who clearly has issues beyond your control or your help. you have to let that person go and hope that after the separation, things could be done properly. And it wasn't, because we saw accusations hurled, and it got very dirty, it got very messy. But for the sake of the child, I would hope that they're able to get along from here on out. But the child is still young, and Jeannie Mai is probably still seething, and we'll probably hear something else, because that's what always happens, right, in these situations. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, like the video, and share. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I will see y'all next one.